Hi everybody, it's me, and I'm really excited because this is our first edition of Nighttime with Dara here on Instagram. I have done Nighttime with Dara throughout the years, probably, let's see, my daughter is 19, and when she was about 10, she was like, why don't you call the nighttime ones Nighttime with Dara? And it literally is one of the most requested versions of my videos because, hi, it's a time when I light candles and I have a sleepy time tonic. April Ree, okay, all my lovies. So Lisa and I were talking today and we were like, why don't we try IGTV? And that way I can do longer videos more than on the stories, and I can also answer people's questions. So I've been getting a lot of direct messages and some amazing questions about feng shui, about health, about astrogeography. So, sweet Rose sister. Hi, plant-based babe. So, plant-based babe, when I said it's going to be nighttime with Dara, and she was like, it's Saturday night live with Dara. And then she was like, even more clever, it's Saturn day, Saturn rules Saturdays, Saturn day night live. So this series is probably going to turn into a podcast when we get my podcast up and running, but we thought, why not start it here and see if you guys like it, and then I can do more question and answers. So let me know when you guys are ready ready to start. I'm having a tonic. It's so good. It's really a watered down version of a classic Dara tonic with Dandy Blend and anything you can do to just soothe yourself at night. And so, hello. So we soothe, we dim the lights, we light candles, we put on something fluffy and comfy. Some of this information may be mentally stimulating. Okay, so the questions, I'm going to answer that one question, and it's so funny that you asked me that. Do I ever drink alcohol? And I really feel like that is a good topic for the end of this video or next time. And it's literally like you read my mind, because I want to talk about alcohol. I want to talk about the fact that after a cleanse, it feels like poison. Like the thought of alcohol after a cleanse, your body doesn't want it. So that tells me that my body feels like alcohol is poison. So it's a spirit. Spirits jump in. You leave yourself open to things that you wouldn't if you had more inhibition. And there's something about celebratory drinking, but we can touch on that. Ask me at the end. The name of the mattress is Keetsa, Keetsa. And yeah, this is the mood. It's nighttime with Dara. So what you can do if you have questions for next time, I'm going to probably do this tomorrow evening, is just direct message me, and then I put them on my computer and I can read the question. Eventually we're going to have call-in questions on my podcast, like voice questions. So for now, this is just a good way to start it. And as far as alcohol goes, I think it's best to not, unless on a certain celebratory moment you feel like having a spirit, and then knowing that if you're at all doing it to numb yourself or calm yourself down because you've had too many stimulants, then alcohol is just a way of self-medicating that is probably not the best. And in my past years, I have definitely I've had, like, if there's trauma or something goes on and you want to reach for a tequila, that's different than sitting around with your friend and having a little sip and being like, let's celebrate this moment. Let's have it act as medicine and a portal to something different. People say mezcal and tequilas like that. I think that if we're numbing or we have to have it because we've had too many uppers, then we're better off having a beautiful tonic that lifts in the morning, in the afternoon, and then having a sleepy time at night. So now you get Carla, now you get nighttime with Dara. I know this is one of people's favorites. We had a consciously chosen glass of wine with dinner tonight, but the default to have your default is not needing alcohol is definitely healthier in my experience, in my honest experience. It's not my choice. It's not my, when I design my lifestyle, it does not involve alcohol every night. And I will tell you that the people, first time viewer, I feel like the people who have drank throughout the years every evening, it shows in how they feel and how they look. And I brought this crystal out because this one represents community, and that's what we are. These quartz crystals, that's what it is. It's from Arkansas. I met the men who mined it. I was at the Tucson Gem Fair, and I feel like I really wish I was there, so I just celebrate the crystals I have, and this one represents community. So, would you guys like to hear? This is a wonderful question about health, and I think that we all at some point have felt the way that this woman feels. Hi, Miss Dara. Are you ready? Hi, Miss Dara. Do you have any recommendations for getting out of a slump? I'm so glad you found me too. So, do you have any recommendations for getting out of a slump? Well, and there's more to it. First of all, I think that I do. I think that everything I do is about moving energy. If I have anxiety or I'm angry, I declutter. If I might move my body, there's all of the things that I do are literally to move energy, moving energy in the home through decluttering and feng shui, moving energy in the body that gets stuck, because this is Avocado Cat's idea. Let's all give her a shout out. It was brilliant. So moving energy in the body means that you're moving stuff like waste that gets caught in the body, and then emotions can get caught. Like if your lymph system is sluggish, your emotions, it's like the sewage system, the waste system of your body. So your lymph has to be moving, your colon has to be moving. Sludge gets stuck in the colon. So then, as within, so without, our life starts to feel stuck. So we want to declutter our homes. We want to get colon hydrotherapy. Oh, how fun. New people joining. I love you guys. It's a great family we have. So this is, I'm going to read the rest of her question, but just know that if I had to describe anything that I do, like to cover, my new astro assistant, Emilia, is writing a bio to describe, and I said, I move energy. And whether it's through feng shui, through raw food, through talking through things, it's moving things to reframe them in a different way so we can get to happiness, so that we can, like you are asking, kick depression. Depression is just repression. We're probably repressing something that we're feeling. We're probably repressing something that our soul wants. In order to hear what it is our spirit, our heart wants, our soul wants, what the divine wants for us, we need to be clean, clear and bright in our body. So while raw food isn't everything, clean food isn't everything, it's the first thing. It ain't everything. So we want to start thinking about moving energy. And when it comes to, she asked, I usually eat very clean and healthy, thanks to your videos, but lately I've been stuck in bad habits. Processed foods, alcohol, cigarettes, and I'm so sick of it. I use these to cope with stress, and I need something to snap me out of it. Raw food is amazing, and I feel great when I eat that way, but it's been hard in the cold and rainy Pacific Northwest. I need a major energy and lifestyle shift. Any tips and tricks would be very appreciated. Love all you do. I want to be clean, clear, and bright like you. So, this is just beautiful, because it's not beautiful she feels in a rut, but the very first thing is saying, I'm not doing the things I'd like to do. So if we took all of that at once, processed foods, alcohol, cigarettes, maybe there's coffee in there, I would say to give up the cigarettes, you give up the coffee first. You give up the stimulants that make you nervous, that make you need the nicotine to calm you down. So you don't do everything all at once. Hey, Patty. You take a little bit at a time. You take maybe the worst offender, and you deal with that first. So you choose, is it the alcohol or the cigarettes? The processed food comes later. In my opinion, instead of worrying about taking out and depriving yourself, I would say the words, I'm not going to be hard on myself. I'm not going to stress myself out. I'm not going to be judgy and mean to myself. I'm going to add a smoothie in the morning. And my theory is all these years that one green banana date smoothie with spirulina and chlorella that you have in the morning will reverberate throughout the rest of the day. So in all the years that I taught people or showed people the raw food lifestyle, and there are 7 years I was raw food 100% for 10 years, I would say that you don't worry about depriving yourself, or as my mom would say, don't frustrate yourself. And then you add in the good thing, and that smoothie in the morning. I have a Soups and Smoothies ebook that was the answer to this question. Like, how do I start? How do I go raw? I used to write it down on napkins. We finally made an ebook. It's gorgeous. It's on my website. Then you might make a soup, right? You eat whatever you want for dinner. You don't worry about the processed foods, but you make sure that you have the green soup and smoothie, and then it starts reverberating. And you wait until you want to make the changes. Like, no one can make you make the changes. No one should ever frustrate you, nor should you frustrate yourself. It's comfy and cozy. That's beautiful, because Karen is up in the Pacific Northwest. There's a lot of opportunity to be out in actual fresh air. It makes a world of difference. That's a beautiful thing. A ritual of hot beverage and fresh air. So your beverage could be a gorgeous hot tonic. Still, don't tell yourself you have to give anything up. You know, the stimulants, like if you're having diet sodas or you're having coffee, you might want to like wean off of that, like one thing at a time. And it's very hygge. It's the Danish word for cozy. So when it comes to cigarettes, you want to give up the coffee first. And obviously alcohol is next. They both go hand in hand, because it's like this catch-22. You have the coffee, and then you're like, zzz, and the alcohol is needed to like shh you down. However, the alcohol makes you lose your inhibition. You're probably going to have calories from that. You're going to be having the alcohol turns into sugar, so you're feeding yeast and parasites, which after they've had the sugar, the alcohols turn into sugar in your body, the yeast or parasites or candida, whatever is craving the sugars, they poop, and then you end up with like that bad matter. It makes you feel worse. It makes you crave something sweet. So it's like, that's one cycle of it. Also, the other cycle for alcohol is it's a depressant. It's going to make you depressed. It's also, when you're drinking it, you're less likely to realize the things you eat. So I would say start to maybe have CBD, maybe even some kind of THC, drops of it in your tonic. If you really need to relax, then I would think a medical marijuana situation would be better than the alcohol. It's very toxic to the liver, and it sets off our body chemistry and such, where we have too much sugars. And this goes back to the alcohol thing. It's like, do we really want to feel bad the next day? Like, I'm not willing. Really, I don't drink so much, and it feels like when I'm feeling so clean and good, I don't want to give up how good I feel for just a couple of drinks. And once in a while, I'll have it. The other night I had some people over, and I had this gorgeous orange wine or rosé wine, and I got to tell you, I felt terrible the next day, and I'm not going to do that for a long time, because it just doesn't feel so great. So this is a wonderful, speaking of kava, I pulled this out because this is so calming. This is Now Alchemy Nirvana. And in here is our beloved Kava Kava, which will take you down a notch or 5. And it has ashwagandha, and nano enhanced CBD. Put some of this in hot water or a tonic. Thank you for all the love, you guys. Under the tongue. So I feel for you in the cold, but what a perfect time to light some candles, have some crystals, have, you know, a tonic with CBD, even a little bit of THC oil to like calm yourself down. Much more natural, I believe. And yeah, it doesn't affect you in the same way that alcohol does. So as far as all of that, I'm going to say a little bit out of a time, and don't frustrate yourself. Just add some healthy stuff in, because I've even noticed, like when I have celery juice first thing in the morning, like I've been doing, it changes my palate for the rest of the day. Like I crave more citrus, I crave more apples, I don't crave as much fat. So add in. Don't worry about letting go. We're not little kids whose parents are coming in to take away all our toys. If we need that cigarette, if we need that drink, if we need that whatever, don't freak out. Like it's about love and tolerance. Reishi is calming too, especially for the heart chakra, as I know. So we do all the things to calm ourselves so that we don't have to have the alcohol. Hot baths, beautiful food with lots of flavor, valerian root, kava kava. In my new tonics ebook, there's recipes for calming. CBD does not test positive on a drug test, I don't believe, but I'm not an expert. I don't think it would, because it's non-psychotropic. And THC is the psychotropic part of the marijuana plant. So if you're ready for another question, let me know. This has to do with astrogeography. I'm imagining most of you know that I created an astrogeography course, which is an easy, really easy way for you to learn about the planets, what planetary energies are being thrown at you where. It is a guide to easily show you, you're ready, to show you how to look up your own astrogeography and of your husbands and your boyfriend and your sister and your mother, and see how everybody's doing on the line that they're living on. So let's see, we got... Okay. This is a really good question, and it pertains to the course. So, if I have no finances or ability to move, plus I wouldn't want to make my kids move schools, our lives have been crazy enough the last 9 years, or really to travel, is there still a benefit for doing this course now? Or would it make sense to wait to learn all of this? I am afraid I'll find out. Austin, Texas is awful for me. Okay, such a great question. Astrogeography is the astrology of place. So just like you have a natal chart, you have an astrogeography chart that's yours. Like Florida is my Neptune line. California, I have Jupiter ascending. Wherever you are in this world, you're affected by what planetary happenings are happening at the time of your birth. And so it's really good to know what's going on where you're living. Or if you're thinking of moving, it's good to know where is good to move to. And I made a course that really simplifies it. So the answer to this question, first of all, she's afraid to find out, which is kind of, I can understand that. And in the past, and the way astrogeography has been explained, it makes sense. Like, what if I find out I'm on a bad line? Pluto, Saturn, first of all, they're not bad, because Pluto is transformative. When you're just stuck in a rut, go to a Pluto line to like change it all up. It's very like it's like death and transformation, so it's not the easiest, but you come out the other side completely new, like completely transformed in some way. And if for some reason we've chosen it as a soul, either as our birthplace or a place we're living, then our soul is brave. We've chosen to go through some kind of transformation. We may say that it's time to leave. And we want to get out of there. And how do we move if we're on a Pluto line? In the course, I guide what happens if you find out you were born on a Pluto line or you live on a Pluto line. And I tell you how to harness the energy for your benefit to either move or to work with it if you need to stay there. And then how to bring in other planetary energies if you can't move. Like there's a way to call in Jupiter, there's a way to call in Venus, the planet of love and beauty. So that's what the course is like. Thank you for loving my energy. So basically, it's like knowledge is power, right? Like if you know what you're dealing with, you can be like, aha, I'm not crazy. No wonder things are so volatile on this Pluto line. Or no wonder I live on a Saturn line. No wonder there's delays and I feel like it's such hard work and it's so austere. And then I tell you how to use the Saturn energy to deal with it, because Saturn gives us structure. It's very necessary. So they all have positive points and some challenging. And so in the course, I'm helping you to understand them. And I make it really palatable. Iris, send me a direct message for the next show, and I will answer your question to the best of my ability. I can't read all the questions right now. I want to finish the couple that I decided to answer in this, but maybe we can see these, or you can resend them to me so that I can answer them properly. And then we'll figure out the format of this show. I love to answer live like right now, and I also wanted to answer the ones that I had planned out. So perhaps Avocado Cat's going to help me out with this, since this is our first Nighttime with Dara on IG. And it's going to live on IGTV, so you can watch it again. So, hugs. So basically, her other part of her question is, if she's not planning on moving, it definitely makes sense for her to take the course, because she can look up and understand what her children are dealing with, understand and harness and work with the energies of what's there. So yes, very great to take the course. Whether you have to live where you're living and you're afraid to hear, don't be afraid, because I promise you, it's just beautiful information to know. And then it kind of helps you if you have to move to have confirmation, if you're ready, sassy little frassy. Okay, so that was one. And then maybe I can do, should I answer questions from you guys or one more from here? Someone asked me, is it better to live on a Jupiter or Sun line? And so we're all different, right? So if you're kind of an introverted person and you don't want to be in the limelight, then it could be uncomfortable living on a Sun line. So that can be seen from your natal chart. If you're not practiced at looking at your natal chart, you just need to know yourself. And so if you want fame and recognition, like we talk about in Feng Shui, if you want some recognition for what you do and you're ready for it, a Sun line should feel really good. And she said, I live on my Sun line. It's Sun descending, which is her relationship with others. There could be some, when we find out that we're really living on a benefic line and we understand that that line is good for us energetically and spiritually, let's say if we're living on a Sun line and we are gregarious, then like if she's a Scorpio and kind of private, it might be uncomfortable. And in that case, maybe she would choose a Jupiter line. So I explain a lot of this in the course, but both Jupiter and Sun are desirable planets to live on or near, because the Sun helps you shine like the sun. And depending on which angle, there are 4 different angles for each planet: ascending, descending, midheaven, imamcheli, and that tells you in what area that planet is throwing its stuff, expressing itself in what area of your life. So you will know that in the course. Your Mars line goes quickly over the location. Any tip? So if you are anywhere near a Mars line, you are very okay as long as it's not Mars descending, because Mars is aggressive and the descending line has to do with other people being aggressive. So this could portend attacks, and either on your reputation, your psyche, like spiritual attacks, reputation, physical attacks. So Mars on the descendant is my least favorite one. And if you have to go to a Mars descending line, then you want to make sure you energetically protect yourself. Be aware of your surroundings, do things and know that you're protected, because we are all angelically protected. We have to just know, like, maybe we just wouldn't be walking around, like la-di-da. We would like put on our armor, harness a little Pluto energy. So Mars descending is, especially for women, Mars is a very macho energy, and when it's on the descendant, it just portends attacks. So that's one that I really recommend people don't live on. Traveling for a week or two, you can manage it. You're so welcome. So that's what's going on. It really is fascinating, and it's so liberating to know. Even just hearing about the planets with astrogeography helps you to understand, when I'm talking about it's Sunday, we're harnessing the energy of the sun, and you'll know what that means. And if you're not living anywhere near a sun line, I'm telling you things you can do to harness sun energy, to get the fame and reputation and all that jazz. So we want to move energy. It's interesting. Sometimes, usually people who are having a hard time find out they're living on a challenging line. And sometimes we choose that challenging line for soul purposes, because we're supposed to grow and get stronger, right? If we're just we're born on easy, happy lines, and we only live on easy street and happy street. And sometimes we need the friction to grow, right? Like a pearl, like grain of sand keeps rubbing and it turns into a pearl. So, one of the reasons I have so much wisdom is because I've been rubbed and irritated by grains of sand in my life. And I've understood what it's like to live on a Neptune line. I know what it's like to be born on a Pluto line. And I'm living on my Jupiter line, and I will tell you, there is such a thing as a geographical fix. So all these years that I've been talking about food, and I would say food is the first thing, right? Like, you have to get yourself clean enough to hear messages from your own spirit and the divine, and you want to clear up your cells and clear up so your blood flows cleanly to your heart, so you get enough oxygen to your major decision-making organs, your head, your heart, your gut. And then you start to open up to other things like feng shui and decluttering and things that spark your interest. And then what if you're trying to do all these things, but you have challenging energies around you? So I'm kind of feeling like food and astrogeography, they're up there neck and neck. Simplest feng shui cure for abundance, prosperity in all areas, health, love, money, career. Is there one thing that can help all those, or is it individual objects for each area? Excellent feng shui question. Can you use one? Does one cure solve all? No. It takes, an amethyst for your wealth area, and 2 rose quartz, make sure I don't, 2 rose quartz crystals in your love area, and that's gonna be another course. Creative transformation. I took the course and it highlighted such an accurate map of my life so far, helped me really confident and validated some big moving decisions. Thank you for this amazing work. You are so welcome. It's just so my pleasure to give that kind of confirmation and go, yeah, you've been dealing with that. You've been dealing with that energy. And when I asked Heath, who is a businessman, would you have moved sooner, knowing that you were sandwiched between those 2 lines? And I don't know if he said hell yes, but it was like a yes. And he just, listened to the message and got himself out of there. And it's just delightful. And I feel honored to know you, Heath. So I feel like it's such a good feeling to know you're not crazy. And it's so, it feels different on different lines. It just does. Like it feels so different. If you're on a Neptune line, you just feel like you're underwater and you're just never getting recognized for what you do. And then if you're sandwiched between Pluto and Neptune, there's like explosions under the water. So not only can you not see clearly, and sometimes people are you're deluding yourself, or you're having like delusional relationships, you're not seeing them clearly. Then all of a sudden Pluto comes there and throws a bomb in the water, and it's like extra, like you get tossed around. So that is not the best energy. Oh, someone asked me about Jupiter and Pluto, and I thought that was a great question. Anyway, it's my pleasure, Heath. It's a pleasure to know you. And Jupiter is funny. This is pretty cool. So Jupiter's great, right? Jupiter's expansion, joy, optimism. I'm living on my Jupiter ascending line. 15 years ago, I was told, get to California. When I visited here, I was like, why do I feel so creative here? And nothing was going on in Florida except spiritual lessons. Things were going on, but they were not my artwork. And I came out to California, and I was like, I feel so great. Like I feel like myself. And I remember telling an astrologer, my astrologer back then, like, I feel so different. And she looked it up, and I didn't know astrocartography at the time. And she said, oh, of course, it's your Jupiter line. And you're living on your Neptune line. That's a lot of spiritual lessons. And I kept coming out to California to like eat it, breathe it, feel it. And she said, and it's a long story about how you're never stuck. I mean, I was legally bound to live in Florida because I had a child and I was divorced. But it was like, I kept feeling like there was something else out there for me that was so much better, and there was. And she said, when you get to California, thousands of people will want to hear what you have to say. So first I designed jewelry. I got picked up by the publicist, called me, the one who represented Neil Lane. He was a famous like Hollywood jeweler, and she only represented him. And then she called me and she said, I want to represent you too. And so of course I was in trade magazines and fashion magazines. And then I found raw food, and raw food changed my life. Like I got rid of my Hashimoto's, like reversed the symptoms anyway. My adrenal fatigue went bye-bye with the help of raw food and my Dr. Sadeghi. And I was like, how can I sit in my studio? And I had a gorgeous tricked out metalsmithing studio, and I loved playing with fire. But I was like, how can I stay making 2 days a piece of jewelry when I want to stand on a street corner and tell everybody about raw food? Like, I looked younger, I lost weight, my energy was back. So I went to culinary school, and and my whole life just kept, it was like every time I tried to do something, I met the tops. Like when I went into raw food, I was hanging out with David Wolf. When I went to culinary school, I came back and I was a private chef to the actor Tim Robbins. Then I was like, no, I have to help thousands of people. So I made a YouTube channel. And so Jupiter, and that definitely was not happening on my Neptune line. Like, I'll tell you that. Yes, is it possible we move many times as we satisfy what feels out of harmony in our lives? I do believe, yes, that the planets give us nutrients, and some of us are meant to move more than others, and we either feel that in our bones, in our spirit, and if we do, it's most likely showing up in our natal chart. So I can see that, which is going to be the next course too, how to read your natal chart and see if you're a movable creature. You probably know that. Some people are more staid than others. I'm burning Palo Santo. Yes, a lot of people here are into astrology and all things like this. So that is happening here. If you feel like you're a light worker, this is the city of angels. Pluto, no Pluto. Saturn, no Saturn. It's a place of incredible amount of angels. Yeah, if you're on your Pluto ascending, there probably is a big change coming. If you just want to be a gypsy, then it's time to be free and gather different nutrients and do what I'm calling astrogeo travel, right? Finding out, you do the course, you find out where the different lines are, and you travel to see how it feels, like to confirm it. Astrogeo travel, that's the thing. Yeah. Patrick's doing Astrogeo travel now, and I'm watching that this is all true. Like, it's true for my life, absolutely. And I've seen it. I've done many readings, and like Heath said, it maps out your life. It's almost uncanny. Like, oh my gosh, this is what's been going on, and we get to manipulate it. We are in a day and age where this is why astrogeography is so important right now. We often move far away from our families, and that never happened. Transportation has never been so accessible and affordable. So a lot of people are not only moving and relocating, they're traveling. And when they're not traveling, they're most likely doing business or some kind of friendship or love interest from afar. So wouldn't it be good to know where you should be promoting your book or on a dating service? Like, you might want to pick your Venus descending line. So we get to manifest in different ways that wasn't available. Like in the 70s, Jim Lewis came up with the science, how to make astrogeography. He called it trademark astrocartography, how to make it accessible to us. And before, it would take like days for somebody to map out and calculate. And then computer programs came along. So with the touch of a button, you can go to astro.com and click. And I show you how to do that and how to read it. And then, so now it's like we can satisfy and know where to go for what, based on what's going for us, and that's a new time in our life. And on top of that, my take on it is that you can call in, for example, have you ever held an amethyst in your hand? If you've held an amethyst in your hand and you know what it feels like and you know what it looks like, and you close your eyes and you picture that amethyst, you actually are with the amethyst. So my theory is that even though you're living on one line and you may not have the opportunity to live on, let's say, the sun midheaven where you're going to shine like the sun, you can find out where that sun line is, and then you can take the culture from that area and put it on your desk, on your altar. Let's say it's Cairo. Your sun midheaven is in Cairo. That's your fame and reputation area. It's like the best line for fame. Then you would do stuff that has to do with Cairo. I don't know, put charcoal around your eyes, maybe put a pharaoh or a pyramid on your desk. Like, you can call it in. If you want to be in love, you can know where to vacation or what to do to call in love. Like, it's not like this death sentence, like dun dun dun, or there's nowhere for you that you can live to get these things. Like, it's like a new paradigm. Like, it's almost like we're more powerful than we've ever been, and there is no time to waste. Like, it's time to be happy. It's time to do what we're here to do. It's not time to stay at the dead-end job or the thing that makes you feel yucky or the place that feels bad and too much responsibility. It's like, kind of like, wouldn't the world be, that's where you were born, amazing. Wouldn't the world be like the best place ever if I'm traveling in my world of crystals and doing the things that I love, and you're doing what you love, and then you see me doing stuff that makes me so happy, and you're like, wow, I want to incorporate some of that. I'm going to do some crystals and candles and Palo Santo and take baths like Dara does and eat raw food and declutter. And then I might look at you and say, wow, she's so organized with her workflow, and she has such a beautiful way of doing X, Y, and Z. I can learn that, and I can do some of that. And so we're all having like our beautiful, it's almost like magic translucent opalescent bubbles, and we're all vibrating like high flyers, and like we're just operating in this beautiful space where we're all happy, not like and having to numb ourselves, having to drink at night because we don't like our lives. When I'm happy, I don't want to drink because I don't want to take away from whatever it is I might be reading or watching or learning or sharing or painting or cleaning up or moving energy. Like, I don't want to take away from the joy that I'm having. So that's the idea, is to get our lives so good that we don't want to do the things that'll numb us away from them. That being said, if you're living on a Neptune line, you're most likely going to want to numb. Or you're living on a Pluto line, it could cause a girl to drink. So please don't beat yourself up. If you are having alcohol or drugs or cigarettes or whatever the heck, just, make an exit plan. And that's what I kind of talk about in the course. So please don't be hard on yourself. It started out this way by the question, like, what do I do? I'm in a rut. What do I do? You add in something good. You add in one YouTube video, someone that inspires you. You drink one glass of celery juice in the morning, or if you don't want that, you have one tonic or one green smoothie. And then it reverberates. It's like your body senses and your cells shift and your cravings change. That's how I feel. Palo Santo. Tonic, candles, crystals. So what do we think? Do we like our nighttime with Dara? I feel warm. I think we do. I think it's been fun. I don't know how long I've been on. What can I do for, DM me that and I will answer that next time. It's a great question. What can I do for financial or health abundance on a Moon Neptune line? I have to think about that. Dance, listen to happy music. You guys like this? Do you like Nighttime with Dara? It was everybody's favorite on YouTube. It was so much fun. You quit alcohol 2 years ago. Susie. Excellent. And you went plant-based. So it kind of goes together. Sometimes you go plant-based and it makes you want to give up alcohol. Sometimes you give up alcohol and you get inspiration. It never really matters what you do first. It's just like, do something. Even if you have to force yourself, like, fake it till you make it. Make yourself make that smoothie. You're at work watching, so it's not nighttime for you. I have this cute little, we're so cozy, we're so cute. You live on a Neptune line and everything I'm saying makes sense. Nancy, honey, oh my gosh, I lived on a Neptune line. I don't know what angle yours is, but if it's ascending, it's like self-delusion. Like, you have these ideals and you just can't seem to get them done. You don't see yourself clearly. If it's Neptune descending, you're not seeing other people clearly and you could be deceived. If you live on a Neptune line, it's really important to have a friend or counsel or somebody who sees things clearly before you make any like contracts or decisions or marriages, check in with someone. The high side of Neptune is like, it's the ultimate for spirituality. People get tapped into things that we can't see on the material plane, beyond the veil, right? Like, beyond that veil of illusion, there's things that are going on that are not concrete. They're energies and spirits and fairies and Akashic records and all kinds of things that so can help us, like intuition and the collective unconscious. But the darker side is that you just could get lost in that. It's almost like you want to just return to the womb and be floating, and alcohol helps you float and drugs help you float. And sometimes the energy might be too spiritual and you can't take it. Yeah, Moon Neptune would be way too moony, moody, needy, delusional, tough. Dream life is amazing. How do I feel about dream life? I feel like our dreams, when we're not like processing something during the day, or me anyway, when I'm not processing something during the day, I'll be processing it at night. Like I'll wake up like with the, oh, I guess I'm not processing my mom's death, or I wake up with like ideas. Those are, you know, and like powerful imagery, and I love when I remember it because it can help you realize what you might want to work on consciously. And sometimes I think I just simply do work in my dreams. Like I've had feng shui dreams where I'm helping people in their homes. I've had a lot of spatial relation dreams about homes. So I think I do feng shui, and I help people in my sleep sometimes. So how do we feel? Are we all complete? Does everybody feel complete for our nighttime with Dara? That I do work in my dreams. Thank you for that. You were the one who asked for the Jupiter Pluto. Well, guess what? So Jupiter's expansion, thank you for getting me on track. Jupiter is expansive and joy and luck and optimism. And Pluto is normally the big bad boy, right? Like Pluto's like death and transformation, and it's like hard and like explosive. Pluto's very sexy. Like if you go visit a Pluto line, it's like exciting and sexy and dark and mysterious and almost like Hades, like the underworld. It's kind of sexy, like the Phantom of the Opera, or, you know, there's like a sexiness to the dark side of life, but there's also darkness and disruption. And depending on when you're looking at the planets, they each have 4 angles, and that angle will tell you in which way the planet is expressing itself in your life. So you take a look at not only the fact that it's Jupiter, but which angle of Jupiter. Where is Jupiter affecting you? Is it affecting you in your career? Is it affecting you in your relationships? And the same goes with Pluto. So you look at either both of those and see where Pluto is affecting. Is it explosiveness with others? Is it explosiveness within your own self? Are you like the transformation agent of change? Are you having explosiveness or power struggle with society? Pluto's power and power struggle. Or is it at home, like with your family? So it's good to know those things. But in general, Pluto is tough. However, if it's with Jupiter, guess where the explosiveness occurs? Fortune, inheritance, like it's explosive optimism, explosive fortune, explosive angelic protection, like miracles can occur on that line. So normally you kind of shy away from Pluto, but if Pluto is conjunct, meaning like this with Jupiter, or it's crossing and the planets are, then you might have like some kind of wild luck on that line. So it's kind of fun. I would like to know if anybody, I'm sure people have won the lottery on Jupiter-Pluto crossings, or won things, or Jupiter's a fun one. Jupiter is optimism. And when Jupiter is on the descendant, it's luck and money from other people. It's kind of like people are throwing money at you. So it's nice to know if there's a place on this planet that you can go get yourself some of that energy. Oh, don't worry. Guess what, Vintage Blonde? I'm happy you're here. And I'm going to save this video when I hang up the phone with you guys. And then I'm going to post it on IGTV. What do you think about that? Sun Pluto is like super explosive. Again, it depends which angles. And it could be... The sun is very male energy and very young. And Pluto's like explosive, so you could just be like, you know, you could be a major change maker, shining the light on people, making change. Again, it depends which angle. Have you ever done past life regression therapy ever? Do you know where you have lived or who you were in a PL? I don't know what PL is, and I would love to answer this in the next one because I've had some experiences And I like being asked these questions because I don't think I've ever been prompted to answer that. So please DM me and I will screenshot it and answer it tomorrow or the next day when we do our next nighttime with Dara. Okay, past life. Thank you. It is past life. Yes, I have met people that I have absolutely known, a man in particular, and had an experience where it was like pretty trippy. So yes, I would say yes, I have. I have had experiences with entities. I have had to call for help. This is all on my Neptune line, so thank you for bringing this up. I had all of these spiritual experiences and lessons on my Neptune line. Both Sun and Pluto ascending, and it's been a lot of inner work. So that really could make you not only an agent of change with yourself, but people will see that. You will be evident to others. So sometimes Pluto on the ascendant, you're such an agent of change that people feel uncomfortable when they're near you. It's almost like you have this thing inside of you that makes them like startled, because most people aren't having Pluto and they don't want the change or to do the change. And so when you have Pluto, you're just like, just by being you, you're disruptive. And with the Sun ascending, you're shining like the sun. So it's big. Like you would be larger than life in the transformation arena. So you personally will have a lot of change and you wouldn't be able to ignore it. It would be extremely obvious and kind of fun. Like it might be tough, but if you're going to do it, go big or go home. That's going big, honey. The Sun and Pluto, what your soul chose. And you're a manifester, bring it on. It's fun to know when I do readings for people what their sun sign is, what they can handle. Some people, if they're born on a Pluto line or they have Pluto in the first house like I do, I was born on a Pluto ascending line, meaning I am an agent of change, and I will take that with me wherever I go. I also have Pluto in the first house, so I identify myself with inner work and change, always working. So for me, it's like, bring it on. But somebody else would be like, what? That's so uncomfortable. Like, no. So this has been super fun. I have loved this very, very much. I hope you have loved it too. And the good news is, if anybody missed the beginning, it's going to be up on our new television channel, Nighttime with Dara. And the Saturday nights, thank you, Plant-Based Blonde, Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live with Dara, right here. Ditto. So big hugs, everybody. Have a tonic, light a candle, take a bath, luxuriate, take a deep breath. All is well. I'm here to remind you that all is well, and that's in my natal chart, which we can talk about another time. Love SNL with Dara, sassy little frassy. Doing Shugal, oh my gosh, my Indian love. I miss you. I think about you. Oh, how is life treating me? Life is treating me so well, but I'm feeling an itch to travel. And you guys, Jugal and his friends were like Abhinav and Sonia. They were like, you can't even imagine. I have to say this because this is a great story. I really miss you. And China, Lydia, we have India and China on the line. So you guys get this. About, I think it was, I don't know how many years ago it was, Jugal, but I found out astrologically that I'm coming to Mumbai. I will consider that an invitation. They treated me so well. So my astrologer said to set up the whole next year, and I know how to look at solar return charts now, but she was like, Hawaii or India? And I was like, definitely India. And so I flew to India by myself for my birthday. And I was there, and all of a sudden I was staying at this beautiful hotel, and Jugal and his friends had found out through Facebook that I was there, so they brought me this big bunch of purple orchids and this vegan birthday cake, or I don't know, some cake. It was beautiful. They sang me happy birthday and they left. And then they called me the next day and they said, please, we want to film you. And I was like, sure, a film crew in India? Of course. Then they found out that I had been taking like transportation and Ubers, and they were like, no, no, no. So they would drive like an hour and a half every day to come pick me up at the palace, and they would, we had the best time. They drove me around for like 9 days. I stayed longer. I need no hotel, just buy a ticket. This is going to be so much fun. Let's discuss when, okay? So message me, direct message me, because Barbara Goldsmith told me that starting March, for the next 9 years, I'm going to be traveling to faraway and unusual places and doing business with people and meeting people tomorrow. I'll come tomorrow, you guys. And I have so much footage from that beautiful India trip that never got posted. Like, it's just a dream. It was a dream. Yes, Jugal, he's beautiful. His friends are beautiful. I mean, just like the warmest, fuzziest, like, so took care of me, and we had giggles, and oh my gosh, it was the most colorful, beautiful trip in the whole wide world. You can find it on YouTube. I'm sure I have a couple of our videos up. It would be so great for me to get some of those up on YouTube. I found them on a hard drive. Oh, how is everybody? Please give Abhinav a hug. And Sonia. Am I forgetting somebody? It was the three mostly of us. Yeah. We went to the Ganesh temple. They took me to the Ganesh temple, and I got this, he bought me like this beautiful Ganesh print that I have, and then I got this little Ganesh statue, and Jada was walking down the street in Venice, and she found one in the street, the same exact one, and I was like, that's a sign. I've been to Bali. Please hug him for me. Yes, Ronnie. Okay, Ronak. Thank you. I forgot. Hugs to him too. So get this. Maybe you'll post pictures of everybody on my Facebook page. So I forgot what I was saying. Sonal. I was calling her Sonia. Sonal. I always think Sonia. Sonal. She's beautiful. Tell her I say hi. What a beautiful crew. Bali is not, India is very good astrogeography wise for me. Like Venus, and there's love, and it's a beautiful place for me. It's actually between California and Mumbai. Mumbai is even better. Ever since I left, she's been missing the food talks. Well, maybe we will set up a food party. She makes beautiful food, or we can do a talk or gather some people. I'm sure there's been great strides in Mumbai in the organic food world since, maybe we'll do a talk or something since I've been there last. Let's convene on this. Let's get it happen. So I'm supposed to be traveling soon. Isn't that amazing? Well, that's exactly what a projector needs. A projector in human design needs an invitation. Like, it's almost like a prompting from the universe that Jugal is here. She's in love. Is she still watching and paying attention? She's in love with all I do? Well, I love her too. She's my Indian beauty. She's such an Indian goddess. Like, really, truly, like inside and out. So we will have some fun. I feel like I could hop on a plane tomorrow. Okay, you guys. Well, we got visited from China, Lydia, and Jugal in India, and all of us were a global family. That's what I want you to know. When you do what you love and you live on a great line, like a Jupiter line, you expand your energy. You're not contracted, or you're not hidden, or you're not busy fighting Pluto. You get to be expansive, and you take that with you wherever you go, that expansive feeling that your home is in a good place. Buy the ticket right away. That makes me laugh. And then you shine where you are, you do what you love, you live where it's good, and you shine, and things like this happen. Oh, that's so sweet. You got an invitation too. Yes, let's all meet in India. That would be such an amazing party. I can feel it right now. It's just in my heart. It's really, truly in my heart. So big hugs, everybody. It's been a pleasure to do nighttime with Dara with you. And it's going to happen again. Nicolette Raw Picks, London is a stopover soon. I'm thinking April and maybe India after. Lovely, 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 Jugal. I love you too. Thank you for being here for all that I do. Thank you for taking such good care of me in Mumbai and showing me this world is such a small and beautiful place.